Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortunes falling all over the town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down.
Well, you know, when Sinatra did that, he actually could buy things with pennies. You could buy things with pennies even when we had our stores. We had some penny bubblegum and stuff. But, you know, why is it that it's so useless now? Is it because of inflation or something? All these people seem to ignore that and say, yeah, good, let's get rid of this cash stuff. Well, I always said that Trump made no sense, and now I've been proven right. It's going to make no sense. And he's going to leave us penniless, so you better make sure your umbrella is upside down, or at least your financial system is upside down. Well, you got to catch all that stuff from the cloud, I guess. But no, that's where our money is going to be. Our money is going to be in the cloud. Instead of pennies, we're going to have digital credits in the cloud. So make sure your umbrella or your financial system is upside down so you can get those little pennies from heaven. Look, we can talk about these different reforms that are there, but they're moving very fast towards the digital money that the people who bought this president want. That's what's happening with this. They want to make us all penniless, cashless, digital slaves using surveillance money. That's the bottom line. And so, when you look at where this stuff is headed, get excited. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this Fauci museum and all the rest of the stuff. Fine. But is that just window dressing for the big World Economic Forum, UN, global governance by controlling our finances and getting rid of cash? I'm very concerned about this because when you look at the arguments being made to shut all this stuff down, it's all saying, well, to make physical money, it costs money, It costs us a couple of cents. That's what Trump said. He said it costs us 2 cents to make a penny. And that doesn't make any sense. So I'm not going to make any sense. And then Doge comes out and says it costs 3 cents to make a penny. Well, maybe there's some other issues here. But people in power will always make 2 mistakes rather than admit to one or to change the fundamental issues. I wrote on Twitter, this also got the ire of the MAGA worshipers, Trump's, quote, pragmatic, unquote, argument for ending the penny is simply a trial balloon for the technocrat billionaires who want to take us into de facto CBDC. The label CBDC doesn't mean a thing. I know. Trump has said we're not going to have CBDC. Going to have something better. We're going to have something that won't have a name, right? It'll just happen to you. And you won't even know that it's happening. You don't even know how much of it has already been put in place, do you? Many of us do. I'm sure that those of you who listen to the program do. No, what CBDC and the name doesn't matter. What matters is transactional financial privacy, as Catherine Austin Fitts always points out. Digital money is a surveillance trap, but it's just fine if Trump does it, isn't it? Right? See, that's the issue here. This is not about cost. This is not about efficiency. It is about inflation, and it is about control through currency. And so Trump has directed the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, to stop producing new pennies. Maybe we ought to. I had a friend send me a Bible verse this morning, Proverbs 11:1. The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him. I guess he must hate the Federal Reserve as much as we do, right? There you go. There's proof. God hates the Federal Reserve and the Washington bureaucracy. Trump announced that he had instructed Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to have the Treasury Department stop making new pennies, explaining that it costs more than 2 cents to make them. Then, as I said, Doge says, no, it's 3 cents. But it's not about that at all. He said, let's rip the waste out of our great nation's budget, says Trump, even if it's a penny at a time. Well, you're talking about virtue signaling. But what about physical money? You see, if you are going to argue that it costs too much to make the pennies, you could easily make the statement that, well, it costs too much to print up paper currency because we got to do all these counterfeit measures to it. Make it pretty expensive, I'm sure. So let's just get rid of physical money altogether in the name of efficiency. So the price of manufacturing the penny has grown over the past several years. Why is that? Because it's not even copper, is it? It's got a thin veneer of copper. You know, everybody in Washington likes thin veneers to disguise what is truly at its core. What is at the core of the penny is zinc. But even zinc is getting too expensive because of inflation. And it's actually, the deflation of the value of the dollar. So I guess we could say it's not worth a plug nickel. They don't use any of the real stuff on any of these coins anymore. They said the price per metric ton of zinc is now double what it was in 2016. See, if you start to look at real stuff, you start to realize how worthless the U.S. dollar is. See, the problem is, it's not that zinc and copper and gold are all going up, it's that the dollar is going down. It's the financial theory of relativity. But if the argument is going to be the cost of making this stuff, then all physical currency is gone. It's just that simple. So John Stossel put out a little bit of his report that he put out a few years ago. He says, President Trump has ordered a stop to penny production. Good. I covered the stupidity, he says, of government losing money in order to make pennies years ago. Here's the short clip that he put up.
Some are paid to make pennies. Most Americans no longer want pennies, but government still makes them at a cost of 3 cents each. 3 cents to make 1 cent, losing taxpayers $100 million a year. That's government.
Yeah, that's government. Except, in the Constitution, what I thought was interesting is that the Constitution says that Congress has the power to coin money and to regulate its value, as stated in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 5. But of course, coining money, they were talking really about gold and silver, weren't they? Not about zinc with a thin veneer of copper on it or something like that. This is where we are right now. And of course, the executive order that JFK put out saying he's going to issue silver certificates, that got him in a lot of trouble with the Federal Reserve, didn't it? A lot of people think that executive order was part of what he was assassinated for. I don't know. We'll find out when they release the JFK papers, won't we? I'm sure it'll all be there written down as to who did it and why they did it. All the mysteries will be solved, won't it?
Hello, it's me, Volodymyr Zelensky. I'm so tired of wearing these same t-shirts everywhere for years. You'd think with all the billions I've skimmed off America, I could dress better. And I could, if only David Knight would send me one of his beautiful gray MacGuffin hoodies or a new black t-shirt with the MacGuffin logo in blue. But he told me to get lost. Maybe one of you American suckers can buy me some at the davidknightshow.com. And David is giving a 10% discount to listeners from now until 2025. At that price, you should be able to buy me several hundred. Those amazing sand-colored microphone hoodies are so beautiful. I'd wear something other than green military cosplay to my various galas and social events. If you want to save on shipping, just put it in the next package of bombs and missiles coming from the USA.